So we will continue with the presentations from the organizations. And up next, to talk about Trans Hälsoplattformen, we have Oliver.
Transhälsoplattformen är ett initiativ som samlar transpersoner, vårdgivare och organisationer.
Vi har 3 ambitiösa mål.
Nummer 1.
Att korta ner väntetiden för ett första besök från över 2 år ner till 2 veckor.
Nummer 2.
Att synliggöra icke-binäras behov.
Nummer 3.
Att få tillgång till behandling utan en psykiatrisk diagnos.
Vi är en medlemsbaserad communityplattform som vill bygga koalitioner med andra som håller med om att systemet behöver förändras.
Our first campaign will focus on trans people experiences in healthcare, and in November we are holding our first national conference in Gothenburg.
In the Trans Health platform, we listen to and support the trans community. We create spaces for you to exchange knowledge and experiences.
We make sure that you receive the information and resources you need to make consensual decisions about your personal journey.
Den situation vi har nu får inte fortsätta. Saker måste förändras och vi kan göra det nu.
Har du blivit respektlöst eller illa bemött inom vården? Behöver du hjälp men vet inte vart du ska vända dig?
Du kan bli en del av vårt community genom att gå med i vårt diskussionsforum via sociala medier eller mejla oss.
Prata med oss. Vi kan guida dig. Du är inte ensam.
Such a cute video.
Colgate karieskontroll med förbättrad formula. Det finns socker i det mesta du äter som kan orsaka hål. Colgate karieskontroll. Den förbättrade formulan med
So I'm Oliver. I have great teeth. My pronouns are he, him, and I will introduce Trans Hälsoplattformen today. Trans Hälsoplattformen, or Trans Health Platform, was founded as a membership-based community platform in the first month of last year. Born out of concerns about and first-hand experiences with trans healthcare in Sweden, we aim to build coalitions with others who agree that the current system must change. Many trans and non-binary people experience long waiting times to access gender-affirming healthcare, discrimination by healthcare providers, bureaucratic obstacles, humiliating questionnaires, insensitive language, and invisibility of their bodies and needs. We want to change that. Bringing together trans people, healthcare providers, as well as stakeholder organizations and institutions in charge, we strive to depathologize trans and non-binary identities and to improve trans healthcare. We believe in self-determination. No experts need to tell us what our gender identity is or assess if we are trans enough to access gender-affirming healthcare. We are the experts of ourselves and capable of making our own decisions about our bodies. Our trans and non-binary identities are not a pathological condition. We do not need to be cured or corrected. We also believe that trans healthcare needs to be decentralized. Trans and non-binary people should have easy access to the care they need, regardless of where they live in Sweden, as it is the case for many different types of care. We aim to shorten the waiting time for a first appointment to begin with gender-affirming healthcare from multiple years to 2 weeks. We want to make space for non-binary bodies and their needs within the healthcare system, and we want to eliminate the need for a psychiatric diagnosis to have access to hormones and surgeries. Those ambitious goals require a lot of work, and our organization is still taking its first steps. That's why we need you all on board. If you can identify with our vision and want to get involved in our events, members' meetings, and be part of the change our healthcare system needs, feel free to reach out to us here at the conference to become an active member of Transhälsoplattformen. Active members are part of our various working groups, such as for communication and social media, health education, finances, or legal and political advocacy. If you don't have the capacity to become an active member, you can still be part of Transhälsoplattformen. And during the workshop that Stefan Sam will host this afternoon, you will get the opportunity to become a member of Transhälsoplattformen and all other organizations that are present here today. And if you can't stay until that workshop, you can still sign up in the info desk or registration desk. And as a non-profit organization, we also need support in the form of donations to make events such as this conference possible. Our aim is to become a platform, and other organizations can become part of this platform and are a part of this conference today. Within Transhälsoplattformen, the members' meetings are the place where strategies are discussed, next steps are planned, and decisions are made. The members decide about the course of the organization. We also have a board currently consisting of 7 elected members. I haven't asked this, but can you raise your hands, the people who are in the national board who are here today? Ooh, 3 beautiful people. Where was I? And they execute decisions made in the members' meetings and takes care of the overall coordination. Through our working groups, we share tasks and responsibilities working on our goals. A board of advisors who have previous experience, knowledge, and expertise oversees the work and help us to stay on course and consider a variety of perspectives. And during this year, 2024, we have arranged multiple events and protests in Göteborg and Stockholm, but also some other places. And we have also participated in meetings with Socialstyrelsen, or the National Board of Health and Welfare. But enough about us. This conference provides everyone a great overview about the discourses we are dealing with, the goals we have, and why the healthcare system needs to change to speak to trans and non-binary people. Use this conference for interesting input, for fruitful discussions, to get to know us, and to connect with each other. Because we are all a community. We are Transhälsoplattformen. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. Up next on the stage, we will hear about FPES West from Angelica.
Well, not only about FPS West, but about FPS as a whole. It's read Full Personality Expression Sweden, and the name is really English because it was taken over from an American concept, the famous Phi Pi Epsilon in New England, founded by Virginia Prince in the early 1960s, and our organization is the oldest trans organization in Sweden, founded in 1966. And the American concept was a kind of sorority at the university. In America, they will have 3 Greek letters, and so Phi Pi Epsilon is, of course, FPE, and full personality expression. Yes. So it was taken over by a Swedish transgender who visited America in the early 1960s. In 2009, we changed our statutes so that the association is there for all sorts of transgendered people of all kinds, and or everybody who sympathizes with us. And we are a small organization. We have no staff. It's all by volunteers. We have some 300 members spread all over Sweden in 5 chapters. I happen to be the secretary of the West Swedish chapter. We have some 50 members in West Sweden. And we also have a chapter for the near and dear. It's very, very important for that partners and others that we can be in the same organization. What do we do? We have of course we have social work directed to our members, meetings every month at least, in some places more, and larger gatherings in spring and late summer and in autumn with some 50 to 70 participants. And then we work also to make trans better known among the general public, trying to influence and inform, trying to appear in large media as often as possible to make people realize that this is a group that exists. We are part of humanity. And we also work with authorities on local and governmental levels to try to influence legislative work as much as possible and as soon as possible. And this, I had a question actually for this morning. What came about in Catalonia? How was it done? How did it start? How long did it take? I think we will have to discuss that later, because we have tried for years to influence authorities, and we have a say, but of course they don't do everything that we say. And yeah. Some years ago, we made an inquiry among the general public, what is their opinion about trans and trans people. It's quite interesting. 75% said it's totally okay, but some 25% said it is not, and there we have our enemies, of course. Well, that would be all. Thank you.
Next up, we will hear about Christian from Purity.
Okay, small technical difficulty. I think we're going to have to ask the next organization to come up, and we will come back to Christian Media. So, go ahead. Let me do that 1 second. Let's go.
So next up on the stage, talk about Sveriges icke-binära Helle.
Thank you. Do I have my presentation here? Yes, maybe? No? Yes. So my name is Helle, and I am. Wait, can I have my notes on here, please? Is it possible? Yeah. Okay. I have them here. So it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I am the current chairperson of Sveriges Ikeminära, and I've been chosen to tell you a little bit about our organization. We officially started 2021 with the purpose to promote equality from a non-binary perspective, and it was a group of COVID isolated non-binary people who met once a week since around 2020 in Zoom to talk about different topics related to non-binarity. We felt ignored in the political discussion and wanted means to organize ourselves with people who understood us, and just that was the most common thing that we heard in our video chats, and that it felt good to talk to people who understood oneself. Those video chats are still a main activity in our organization, and we welcome all non-binary people to join us on Wednesdays at 7. You don't have to be a member to join those kind of video chats. We are using SIB for short, and we think that's clever because that's short for a sibling, which of course, it's a non-gendered word, and we see ourselves pretty much that way because, we organize from the bottom up, and the board has no more power than the regular member unless it's been delegated something from our monthly member meeting. And we have a yearly meeting to plan ahead, like most organizations. And since we're spread all over Sweden, and we have large parts of our member base in smaller towns or on the countryside, we don't have many activities in real life yet, but as we grow, we welcome initiatives to start up almost anything. Instead, we have started our organization from a free platform called Discord, and where we communicate both written and spoken in real time and in threads, with or without sharing video with one another. So as long as you have a computer, you can join those kind of discussions and the activities we have there. I forget to press the button. We have a long list of things we want to change, as most of the organizations here. But we also have things that we want to keep and things that we want to create that does not require anything to change in order for it to be possible. And we're currently working on a project to create a web-based portal about non-binarity. And that will share our broad definition of who can be a non-binary. Basically, we welcome you as long as you, in some aspect, think of yourself as not gender binary. I thought it was another slide, but but it's not. You may be gender fluid and binary 99% of the time, and we still welcome you. You may be stationary, very close to binarity, but not quite there. You might feel that all labels and perhaps even non-binarity does not include you. And we still welcome you. If you're non-binary by this definition and want to organize, we think you should contact us or grab a flyer. Maybe I can put some on the fika table. Yeah, nice. And become a part of us and organize however you want. Thank you.
Thank you, Helle. And now we're moving forward with a presentation about Christian media. Welcome to the stage, Purity.
Organizations, I think mine is the one that doesn't have any power. So the power of civil society doesn't work in that kind of sense, in my view. And I have 7 minutes, but I wish RFSL could have borrowed me a few minutes because we already know you, so they can get to know us. Okay, so I am talking about Creation Media, and Creation Media is a BIPOC trans refugees-led organization in Sweden. We are a small grassroots organization that was started in 2017, mostly by Black trans refugees, just to amplify the trans refugee voices, promoting meaningful engagement and holistic inclusion. And please underline holistic inclusion. Oops. Okay. I don't know why this isn't working in my favor. Okay, yeah. I am going to go quickly because I have 7 minutes so that I can share our goals and our challenges very quickly, our story and our work, opportunities and challenges, then recommendations quite quickly. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. So why we exist, of course, as trans refugees, we exist to fill in the gaps of so many intersectional approach and anti-refugee policies that we have in place, and also to decolonize and make sure that our voices and who we are is representative, and also find space where we can heal and where we can find ourselves, and where we don't have to forget who we are, because in most cases we are lost in your civil society platforms where the space is not actually good enough, or maybe in most cases we are not welcome even when you think that we are welcome. So that's why we exist. Our strategies and goals. I will go to core pillars. Core pillars, we capitalize on capacity strengthening of our communities. Community building is a big one for us. We do monthly community gatherings for our BIPOC trans individuals, and we also have workshops We have a project ongoing and having workshops on how we can become a family and how we can support ourselves and how we can build within the trans refugees community a sense of family, since 99% of our members do not belong to any family or have family ties. We also have a project on media documentation. You should look out for it. We have a magazine called Creation Magazine, where we amplify the voices of trans refugees and trans persons who are racialized all over the world and bring out these stories for inspiration and for policy change. And we also have a podcast, which is now on mute because people who have been working on it went through a mental health crisis, so they had to stop. Mental health crisis is a part of our biggest struggles. We also promote wellness and sports in a sense of holistic wellness that makes sense to us. And holistic wellness has different layers that I can go to it, because the wellness that we talk about in Sweden in most cases is not actually wellness for us. So our networks, we resources, collective organizing. I will not go dive much into that because I have 7 minutes. But our networks, we partner with a few organizations, mostly Les Bismarck, that always funds our meetings, our monthly meetings, and stuff like that. We also partner with Transgender Europe when we have educational, and once in a while with RFSL and Rainbow Refugees Sweden. And the resources that we have is that we pick every little that we find from these organizations. In most cases, what we get are leftovers from what these organizations are not able to use, and like, oh, maybe this group can actually use it, because we are never planned for. Now, the most exciting one, and what I'm very passionate about, is our common challenges we face. And one, we face systematic discrimination. I think that is obvious. Lack of meaningful inclusion and exclusion from key processes. If you can check even within this room, probably will see very few trans refugees represented or having a mic or having anything meaningful. And so lack of meaningful inclusion is what we are talking about, and it's evident in every spaces we go to. It will always be difficult to find us, but we are not invisible. Lack of consideration for own expertise. Definitely we are not hireable. Nobody thinks that our skills, our talents, and who we are actually deserves money. That's why in most cases we are the ones who never have any kind of empowerment when it comes to money. And I hope in the future, when you are involving a trans refugee, more so a black trans refugee, please consider paying us. And regardless whether you are a volunteer organization and you have little resources, make sure you fix something for us, because we never get paid for nothing, but we are the ones upholding these communities, doing everything for free. Administrative barriers to funding, limited knowledge and language skills. When it comes to funding, now every organization right now is crying about funding, not having enough money, and we can understand that there is not much money. So you can imagine how hard it is for us as a grassroots trans refugees organization, how hard it is. So we are still not able to pay our staff. I'm probably among the 2 paid staff, but we are paid almost like 20% of what we should be able to be paid. And then when it comes to knowledge and language skills, most of the trans refugees, first of all, when it comes to even going to school in SFE, is where they face the harshest transphobia, and they are not able to thrive or to learn. And so it's always difficult for them to be able to even express themselves. But then also our organization handles trans refugees who come from the informal sector, who have never maybe attained an education. They have been running away from transphobia since they were little, and they have never stabilized, so they are not empowered enough to have skills to make them thrive in such a white country. Public service staff, not sensitive, stereotyping, refugees, limited SOGI sensitivity. I'll go back to that later. Competition for resources with well-established groups. Every time we are applying for funds, in most cases, we are told that the funds have gone to another organization that works with refugees. And so, and then we got these organizations, we discover they didn't plan for us. And so this competition of resources is what we have to struggle with on a daily basis, because it's very easy to forget who we are, by the way. If it's even very easy within the trans community, more so here in Sweden, to forget that you have a group like ours, because the issues of trans people are so big in Sweden that everybody is just finding their bubble. And so in most cases then, from an intersectional approach, you leave out the most vulnerable persons in your community. So make sure that you think closer and broadly about who we are in every approach you do to extend services. Exclusion by refugee-led organizations, even LGBTQ plus, lack of intersectional approach and solidarity. Lack of intersectional approach. I always tell people that I actually find a community outside of Sweden than a community I find in Sweden. It is very difficult, even in the trans settings and trans spaces. It's so white, and the systems are so discriminative, and you always find yourselves. You know, I have tried to be on different trans boards here in Sweden, and I discovered, oh my goodness, I can't actually do nothing. They don't have the money, but then also in most cases, even when there is no money, the structures tell you that the few projects that you have, you hold them dear. You do not want to be uncomfortable and challenge yourselves and try to incorporate who we are within the systems. And that's because of meager resources, but then it's also the fact that you lack a holistic intersectional approach and solidarity. Because if we are fighting for trans rights, even if you are a small entity and you're starting, you need to always start with the most vulnerable in your groups, and you start together. We need to start advocating. Thank you. We need to start advocating together, not you starting something and then you want us to wait on you when you feel like you have stabilized, and using our lived realities and our lived experiences and who we are is when you actually engage us. That should definitely change, because then it is very difficult to maneuver through the structures that you have. Attitudes towards refugees and trans and gender movements. Attitudes. The attitudes that systems that we operate in that are refugee phobic are the same attitudes we find in these spaces. In most cases, we are taken to be more informal than we are supposed to, even when it comes to hiring. When you are hiring, you should always begin with people like us, because you can thrive in the other spaces. And we are the ones who have the exact expertise that you are looking for. So, but in most cases, the same as the government wants us to integrate and forget about our expertise, our skills, our education and stuff like that, and we have to start from the bottom up, is the same way, even structurally, even in the queer communities, the same situation. Our skills are never taken serious. volatile operating environment, political attitudes raising crises. We are seeing a lot of crises happening, and the anti-gender movements are increasing. And in most cases, the anti-refugee movements go hand in hand with anti-gender movements. So we are always in the bubble of all those issues. Holistic and inclusion integration approach needed. Integration in Sweden is difficult for everybody who comes here. And to be honest, we have always met people who can't wait for us to be better and find support, but it's difficult for everybody. But then it's absolutely difficult for a trans refugee, more so a black trans refugee in that sense, because our issues always seem not to be understood by so many systems. So we see that happening within our own spaces. Now, recommendations. One, promote anti-discrimination campaigns. Every kind of anti-discrimination begins with you. I have maybe 1 minute. Anyways, be intentional about inclusion and increase funding. Maybe I can put all these recommendations. You can probably find them on our platform, Question Media. But just I want to emphasize one, is that intersectional approach to who we are and anti-racist policies are lacking in all queer platforms in all senses. We are forgotten, and like I said, when you are planning and you are thinking about strategies and you are thinking about starting a small platform, even this platform, today I actually feel some sense of intersectionality in this room. It's my first time to feel like there is some intersectionality in this room and somebody cares. But in most cases, I hope this platform will continue, because it's possible to not get funding for more conferences like this. Then we shall find ourselves not being able to find a platform where we can also thrive with others who have been discriminated. So as you plan anything, more so now that there is a huge cutting on the LGBTQ communities and civil society, everybody is looking for little spaces. Please do not forget who we are. Reach out. Let's be a community, let's be a family, but please begin with being intersectional in whichever senses of your life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Purity. As you said, we can find more information on Question Media's website.